Simple as that, just that he would dig it. So he did listen to it, but it was like 6 months later at least. And he called. So finally I said to him, because we were like, I didn't know what to say. You know, I'm like, what's up? I heard he had surgery on his knee. I'm like, how's your knee?
Yeah.
And
Small
so
talk
I
with
go,
Joe
I
Perry.
hope you know, Joe, that like when you, for most people, you know, you answer the phone, you don't expect, hi, it's Joe Perry. Like, I hope you know that. And he's like, oh, well, he goes, the reason I'm calling is I finally got around to listening to the discs that you gave me. And, you know, I think the stuff is really great. And I was wondering if you could give me guitar lessons. I was like, okay.
Wow.
So I ended up going up to his house, and I ended up going a variety of times. And he's just the nicest person. Like, we were just, the first time I went, we played for 12 hours.
Did he?
It was ridiculous. This is what happens when we get together.
That's so
So then
cool.
recently, did you see, because you're an Aerosmith fan, did you see 2 summers ago when he collapsed on stage?
I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see, yeah.
Right. Okay, but you heard about it.
Yeah.
So I heard about it too, and oh, you're videoing.
I
it.
just started, yeah.
I don't think you want to, but
Oh, okay.
I want these boring stories. So I was concerned, you know, like I saw it. I sent him a text, hey, I hope you're okay. Don't hear anything back. A couple weeks go by, and he was, you know, like big Instagram guy. Then there was nothing. Then there was this Instagram post, and I think they thought, hey, we should put something out there because everyone's worried about you. And he looked so bad in the pictures,
Really? Yeah.
and I was
Oh,
like, I was
shit.
even more alarmed.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So he called and he said that he had this health scare, and he was in LA, and it was in September, and 3 weeks later they were going to do this big tour of South America. So he said, well, would you think about, you know, coming out here for a few days and just sit around and play,
Yeah.
you know, help me get my shit together? I said, sure. And he just is like, you know, like when you get together with him, his wife Billy's there, she's super nice. He's like, hey, can I get you coffee or water? You know, like,
Yeah,
he's
nice.
just like a nice
That's cool.
person. And, you know, he's funny. Like, he wasn't sleeping, like, sort of dealing with the issues that he was having. So he said, he said something like, he goes, it sucks, I'm sleeping like an hour a night. He goes, but my wife tells me that you can't die from lack of sleep. I go, that's such a wife thing to say.
Like no sympathy at
Yeah.
all.
She's like, well, don't worry, because you can't die from lack of sleep. Great.
That's funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I feel a lot
Thanks
better
for your
now.
concern, right?
So then at the end of it, he said, well, he goes, when I'm in Brazil, part of this trip, he says, I'm only playing 2 gigs for the whole week. You want, you know, what do you think of coming down? So I went down and hung out with him for 5 days.
Yeah, nice.
And all we did was play, you know? Like, we would play a little bit in the afternoon, and then we'd be like, well, I'm going to take a nap. Like, I'll call you when we're going to go to dinner. Go back to my room. 6 o'clock, we'd go to dinner, you know, come back, and then we would play from 9 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning. Like, it'd just sit there and play. Like, endlessly.
Yeah.
Like, it was hilarious.
That's cool.
I haven't done that since I was like a kid,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
That's
And then I remember this one night, he said, let's go over every song on Exile on Main Street. So we went over every song, like how to play it, like broke down every guitar
Really,
part.
yeah.
That's why it took 6 hours.
Wow.
So now it's 3:30 in the morning, we're both like this. And he goes, you think we should stop, you know? I go, yeah, I can't even open my eyes. And I said, let's play Hand of Fate first, though. You know Hand of Fate?
No, I don't know that one.
Hand of Fate is,
Yeah.
I'll play it for a second. It's an open G. It's on Black and Blue. Like, this is such a
Wow,
good
nice
song.
song, yeah.
And then it goes. such a good
Very
song.
cool.
And then the solo is a guy named Wayne Perkins. Because the deal with Black and Blue, it was the audition album. They were trying to figure out
Oh,
who
yeah?
was going to replace Mick Taylor.
Oh, wow.
So there's all these different guitar players on it.
Wow.
Jeff Beck was supposed to be on it, in fact, and he just bailed. He showed up and then he left. The story is next morning he woke up and went, fuck this, and he just left. Rory Gallagher, they were thinking about him. They
Yeah.
offered the gig to him. He turned it down. They offered the gig to Roy Buchanan. He turned it down. Kind of crazy,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Stones go, hey,
How's
want
that?
to join the Stones? They go,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But Wayne Perkins' guitar solo on Hand of Fate, you got to hear it.
Yeah. I'll check it out when I get
Fucking
home. Yeah.
great. Because he sounds like a cross between Mick Taylor and Eric Clapton. And it's not quite as that beautiful fluid, but it's pretty damn close. Solo's phenomenal.
Wow.
So, anyway. So it's just funny. It's 3:30 in the morning.
Very
I go,
cool.
we have to play Hand of Fate. And he's like, all right. Then we played Hand of Fate.
Very
He was
cool.
like, good night.
Good night.
Here, hold on. Which one? Let me see what this is.
Edge bridge with 4-bar pickup.
Hold on. And then the next one I think is the solo. Let's see.
Bar pickup.
Let's see if it is. Sounds like the record,
Very,
right?
very cool. Wow. Now, who is that? You playing?
It's all me, yeah. Drum machine, I play bass, play rhythm guitar, do all the solos. Everything's written out. And then
And
like,
that's
here, like this is the next track is the solo slow, but it's just, I purposely, you know, like work to get a really good guitar tone that sounded like the record, and then when you hear it slow, it's the same tone. Let's see. So, like my problem with a lot of instructional stuff is it doesn't sound like music.
Mhm.
Like this, to me, still sounds like
it sounds like a
It's-
real electric
it's
guitar.
yeah, it's electric guitar and it has feeling. Like it's just or the mood is right. But the Jeff Beck stuff that I knew he would dig would be like let's see if this is the right one.
Hello.
Jeff Beck, you know this?
I don't know.
From his first album.
Rock my
Second solo. So he heard that and he was like, I love it.
Wow, very cool.
And based on that, but I mean, I put all my favorite shit in here, you know. Are you a Mountain fan at all, Leslie West? Not really?
Not opposed to it, but no, I'm not that familiar.
I'll play one more thing. There's a song, Leslie West, I'm a humongous fan. And his first album, before there was a band called Mountain, the album was called Mountain. So he made a record. It's just credited to Leslie West as the artist. And the album's called Mountain. That was the name of the album. And that album's incredible. So there's a song called Dreams of Milk and Honey. And his guitar solo, I mean, this is, but you know, this is a fun thing, Mike, of meeting all these people. So somebody played this for Leslie. And when I met Leslie, he said, "You're my hero," to me. And I said, what? I said, "That's not possible. You're my hero. I can't be your hero." And he goes, "No, you don't understand." He goes, "Somebody played me those tracks you did." And he goes, "You sound more like me than me."
It's a big compliment. That's
yeah.
right.
And he goes, "You made me go back and listen to my old records,"
Wow.
which I thought that was amazing.
That's very cool.
Yeah, really cool. He's another guy. He's a little, but he's a nice guy. Very nice guy. I wrote the liner notes for his last album. Leslie Weinstein, you know, he's just another guy from Queens like me, you know.
Wow.
And he was born like 2 miles from where I grew up.
Where'd you grow up?
In Little Neck, Queens.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I grew up in Middle Village, Queens, which is not. Like,
Yeah, he was
much
from.
different
He
than
was
Little
born
Neck.
in Fort Todd.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he went to Bayside High School or Forest Hills. I can't remember. Maybe Forest Hills.
Very cool.
He's historical. Here, let me play. I think this would be the solo.
Dreams of
Let's see if this is the solo. That's the bridge.
Dreams of Milk.
Is this the solo? Like it's so melodic. Everything is just really strong melody. And like, yeah, so remember that one. Anyway, that's
Very
how
cool.
that's how the Joe Perry thing happened.
That is so cool.
All right, let's do some Red House. You have a minute?
Sure.
Still have time? All right, we'll do the beginning. Or as much as we can. All right, so we're 2.5 step, but he's playing it like it's in B. And then he's beginning with this. Yeah, so this is like, you know, like a D7. It's a 7th shape. But for this version, he just plays the G string and the high E string. And the way I like the vibrato is I'll keep my hand stiff and just kind of push, as opposed to like moving the fingers like that, like a wrist vibrato. I do more like a stiff arm vibrato. Then down one. Then play the B triad. So this is going to be in 7th position, you know, B minor pentatonic. You can use your pinky if you like. You like bending with your pinky?
Yeah, I think so.
So try to put a vibrato on it though.
That's another thing I need some work on.
Well, I tell you what, bent vibratos are a thing unto themselves.
They sound right.
So you have to practice bent vibratos. In fact, Johnny Winter told me that he never did bent vibratos Like he always used a tremolo arm
Really?
until he heard the Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton,
Oh, really?
1966. And he said, he goes, Clapton just kind of threw down the gauntlet. He was like, if you can't do a bent vibrato, it sounds great. You're like a girl. You know, it's like, no more tremolo arms. You know,
Yeah.
he was like, that was it. Like you had to do it with your fingers.
That's cool.
And then he goes, so up, down, and then, and this is, so, now if you want to use your pinky, this is where that diagonal thing comes in handy, because your fingers are kind of already there. And you know, like we're talking about Hendrix, so this is the way Hendrix did it. So start with that. And then this. Yeah. So here. So after that,
Maybe that you could write out. Just that first.
well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you. I'll scan it. I'll scan it and email it to you. I have it all
Oh, thank
down
you.
in here.
That's great. Hendrix, I assume, listened to Chuck Berry?
Big time.
Because some of this reminds me of something.
No, big time. Yeah, it's like Johnny B. Good. Mike, what's your email?